Yeah, new video, two videos in a day, and I'm kind of lightheaded, not gonna lie, because today I was in the gym and I had a great gym session. I would argue I almost was giving my all, like damn, like shoulders and chest, especially shoulders, because I was struggling with that. Like, dude, after I finished my workout and was going to the dressing room to undress myself to get to the shower to take a cold shower, I was looking myself in the mirror, and the blood was, pumped in the shoulders and the chest. And I was looking at myself and I was like, damn, that's some serious business. Like, when I keep doing this for like 2 or 3 months, I'm going to be in elite shape. Anyways, now let's do. Let's try to look for setups here in the markets of today. At times where I typically look for setups, or I wake up or and start to go to the markets. And yeah, I know I was uploading a trade recap, but we will do this on USDCHF, Euro USD, and also in gold again, because I intentionally, consciously deleted all the drawings. Let's start with gold. Alright, now first of all, let's mark out London session open so we don't get lost into it. So we can kind of have more, of a better understanding and where I typically start to get on the charts and look for setups. Alright, let's start with gold. The daily was at the beginning bullish. And the thing is, I actually thought, well, I wasn't expecting to take out this high, to be honest, of the previous candle. I expected to maybe a bit to consolidate or maybe going further down, but before that, I wanted to see any further movements to the upside. I can tell you why. Now, I was checking price right here, right? And we see it was kind of consolidating overall, like to the downside. Like when we look at like that, yeah, downtrend, but there's like a lot of consolidation within this movement, this price action, as you can see, like crazy consolidation, downside consolidation, lower high, down, then lower low consolidation, lower low, lower high, lower low consolidation. I think you get the point. Now, I wanted actually to see one more move up, like a little leg, extension, taking out the previous, like not the previous, but one um, swing high, like this one. I wanted to see this being taken out. Wait, I have to check it again because I might saying bullshit. No, I wanted to see this high to be taken out. All right, now being aware of that and also seeing this, we can keep scaling down 5 minutes. And I was when was going on the chart 7 a.m. Yeah, correct. Now we see on the 5 minutes we have here now like a little uptrend within this pretty sloth downtrend. And we can actually scale up to the 50 minutes because higher time frame holds higher power. So within that, maybe it's a bit stronger when we see this little reversal in the whole trend on the hourly and the daily. So now we see after this distribution, we have a consolidation, which typically happens most of the time after, there was like a crazy distribution, which is also the reason why I'm kind of fearing that tomorrow is going to be a hell of a consolidation going on. Anyways, now we have here a swing high. And as you can see, the next candle was actually closing above it. Now we could also kind of predict that or like kind of guess that it will keep going a little further to the upside because after this consolidation, we had a candle closure above it and also a huge wick to the downside. So we could actually have here an AMD formation, accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution. Now the thing is, I don't want to use it every single time like that, but it's like an extra confirmation. So it's something which right there I would completely rely on that, but afterwards we can see it. But anyways, it wasn't like the main reason. The main reason was mostly because we have the candle closure above this consolidation. The most importantly, which gave like the final confirmation, was the candle closure above the swing high. So I was like, okay, I think it's going to go a little higher before it drops or it goes to the downside. So now knowing that we can actually go to the 5 minutes and looking for our entries. Now what do we see on the 5 minutes? We have here actually for value gap, right? But the thing is, kind of within this move to the upside, here the wick went to this imbalance, which I don't like when I want to have like a clean for value gap. But on the other hand, what I can see here, we have here support building. Now, honestly, like that, I only use this on the higher time frames on crypto, but here, because there was like so poor point of interest, I was using it. Not because I was desperate, but it also was fitting very well. Because, look, here we have resistance, which got respected, and then later it was forming to a support for, this price action. And the way I was getting there were like equal lows. It was like very clean, and that's the reason why I was using it as a confirmation, because typically I don't really use it. And yeah, in theory, we could also still count this order block in the 5 minutes, which is also pretty weak, I would argue, in the slow time frames. But anyways, we have here on the 50 minutes, in my opinion, a very clean support slash resistance zone, and we see it got respected. I was actually entering off this wick. No, actually, here I was entering here because I saw, okay, it's going to the downside. It's not really getting rejected, so I was entering off here, and I would probably also enter off here because also still, being aware of this support which is being held in combination with this order block, because this alone, this order block wouldn't be the final point of interest, because again, I didn't like that this wick is getting to this imbalance. But still, these two things in combination, and also with the market structure shift right there on the 50 minutes, we had, in my opinion, enough confirmation that it will go at least for a while to the upside. Now, where would I put my TP? Typically, as I mentioned, I wanted to see this high to be swept, but it wasn't. Now, what be then another, like when we want to be like safer, like in terms of play it's rather safe than sorry, then we see here a clear little, retracement, a little like up to the upside, like a little swing high, a lower high, which is definitely remarkable. This isn't one. This is a swing high. This is not the one. This is not a swing high. This is also pretty weak one, but this is the only one within this little distribution to the downside, which is clean on the 5 minutes. So if I would have played it today very extra safe, which I could have done if I wouldn't be a dumbass and disrespected my routine in the morning, we actually could have taken this one as the TP. Now, where would I put my stop loss? I personally would have put my stop loss at the bottom of this support zone. Now the thing is, when you use support and resistance, the problem is you don't have like, it's not like very precise and specific, like on the order block slash in brackets demand and slash demand zone, like this candle and stuff like that. This is a zone, this candle, if you get me. So I would actually put it a bit below that, so we just can like play like more safe in terms of yeah, spread or whatever, in case if it wants to draw it a bit more below that, because then we also know it's it might break out of it, and then we have clearly the confirmation that it's not doing what we are expecting. Anyways, now the thing is, we can say, yeah, now we can chill. We place our position, but the thing is, because I am a G, I still want to keep for more confirmation why I'm in the position, so I can see what's going on with the price. Now on the 5 minutes, but also on the 50 minutes as well. Well, okay, no, sorry. On the 5 minutes, we see here after London session open, it's a huge select to the upside. They were buying, and then what do we get here? Consolidation. Now here I would validly and actively and consciously use the AMD setup, because now we see here's the accumulation, and then after that here was the manipulation. Now my only problem is that there wasn't like a median distribution after that. We had the consolidation after that, and it was kind of concerning me. So I didn't know if this was still valid. So we had like a super like after this manipulation, it was like just becoming a consolidation. But the thing is, at least because perhaps it is one, but I'm not, to be honest, really counting as that because of this consolidation. We have to go back to the consolidation phase. So when we go back to the consolidation phase, we actually see here. Let's say we are marking out. Okay, we haven't any place to mark out for where it's going to break out, which is pretty ass if you ask me, because it's like way too unspecific. Like from here, oh, close below it, and here, like it's just shit. So I think we kind of have to take like that. But overall, when we look at like here, without being able to mark out where it actually begins the consolidation, like the bottom and the top, we clearly see it was breaking out of it, like this distribution. So I guess this still is an AMD setup, but I'm very careful with that. I'm not taking this as granted. When there's like a after the manipulation, or at least what looks like to be manipulation, the consolidation starts. I just prefer to be careful because again, I don't want to take this as granted. Otherwise, start to build up bad habits and start to believe the wrong things. Anyways, long story short, after that, a distribution occurred, and yeah, and then what happened? It was going to the downside. There was like a massive reversal going on, and then what happened after that? New York opened, and it kept going. Like as you can see, like this was immediate sell pressure. And I can imagine that is because of the uncertainty if rates will be cut or not. But it's in September. But anyways, so if you would like to play it safe, this would have been a trade. On the 5 minutes, this little swing high in this distribution as a TP to play it safe. Otherwise, I would have targeted this one. But to be honest, after all, which kind of gives you the confirmation why to not go up here is, again, as I mentioned, I wasn't expecting to get up to take out this high. And also, as what I was actually kind of expecting that it goes third to the downside. So yeah, this was kind of, this could have been like, or would have been like let's say the confirmation, or like the final point. Like, you know what? It's a bit too uncertain. I can't really tell what it tries to do from here on. So I just tried to take it like that. But yeah, as I don't know if I mentioned it, but I was disrespecting my routine in terms of I was waking up at 6:30, and I was pressing the snooze button, woke up at 7 a.m. Couldn't do, I wasn't that clear with my mind, if you get me. So I wasn't completely broad with my sight on the charts, but still, because I'm a G, I still was seeing the setup, so I was taking the trade, and yeah, in theory, it could have been a profitable trade. Because look at that, how clean is that? 8 RR, this is what we want, right? What makes sense and what works. Yeah, but as you know, shit happens, and this was a lesson to me to not disrespect my routine because I'm not a coward, I'm not a bitch, and if you want to play it big, you have to play it right. No days off, and I was taking a day off regarding my routine. I have to be rock steady with it because when I'm clear-headed, I fucking conquer the markets. All right, UCCHF. Shit. Okay, now this was the previous day. Um, this was also the previous day. Damn. 9 a.m. So yeah, this. Let's see where price was at this point. Right there, like literally getting back to the open of the candle. This was where the like it was barely a doji. Oh no, my bad. It was all down here. Okay, it was all the way down here when I would have in theory looked up the charts. So now here, to be honest, dude, like this is we have to look to the rest of it. I can't really tell. It looks a little bit to me like okay, not really. It looks more like that to me, to be honest. Yeah, that it is consolidating, getting more here close, and then boom, it op and then shit. Wait, can I make it? Oh yeah, great, I can. Yeah, kind of looks to me that it's like consolidating within this range, and I think somewhere here, like it's either going to the upside or downside. Now, overall, the trend, I mean, when we look at the daily, in theory, it can be still be bullish, but right now we have like also on UCCHF a big consolidation going on. I mean, we see we have lower lows. Oh yeah, now I see it. I mean, we have lower lows, right? But we also have here support being held. So what I've learned today from a guy from a chat, I think something like that, which we also have on the daily on gold, is called a flag pattern, and looks like it's trying to go to the downside for the next week and days overall, because we having like pretty much equal lows and lower highs. So anyways, now we kind of have some kind of the trajectory for the next days and weeks. But now let's look for the day. Now it was all down here. It was taking out previous day's high, previous day's low. Now, because we're in a consolidation, it's a bit hard to tell what it tries to do. I mean, we also had to take a look at the dollar index to kind of help it out a little, because S&T divergence is possible to use on UCCHF and DXY. But yeah, again, right now also I think DXY is also very chop like consolidating like to eternity feels like. But anyways, now it was down here. Let's go to the 1 hour. What can we actually see on the 1 hour? We see pretty not very beautiful looking to look at if you ask me. We have here an uptrend, then with a reversal, candle closure. Actually, no candle closure to the downside. So this is in theory a liquidity sweep, because if we would have get a candle closure to the downside, then we would have had like a market structure shift on the 1 hour, which would have been pretty clean. But we didn't get one. We didn't get one. And yeah, I know it's relatively choppy, but still, we didn't get one. I was taking out this low, this from this swing low. So now we're going to keep a look. All right, now 7 a.m. Now, okay, now being aware of that, I to be honest, I want to see price going more to the upside, maybe in a very choppy and consolidating way, but it was not taking out this low. And when we also see how it was going up, I mean, also look at this candle, holy shit, and we see how it's going down. I wouldn't expect that it goes further down, to be honest, at some point, like this point, like in point in time within the trend. So yeah, but still, if you want to take a trade, you have to be like super aware, because right there, especially when it's so consolidating and choppy right now, you have to double check. Like, if you want to trade, you have to literally double check. Like, honestly, otherwise you get scraped in the markets. Now let's get to the 5 minutes. Do we see any setup? Now we have on the 5 minutes it's consolidating to the downside, and we have honestly no point of interest when I look at it like that. 50 minutes? No, nada. Now we could in theory say when we want to be like a geek, like geeks, we have here also, you know, support being held here. But the thing is, here it was breaking out of it. So what you can even tell if it's going to go further to the upside or not, because it was breaking out of it clearly, as you can see. So I think at this point it's safe to say for USDCHF, no trading day. There's like literally no trading day. Like way too the consolidating, way too choppy, not beautiful. Like honestly, not like you can't really take a trade without fucking up big time. We want clean setups like I had on gold. All right, let's move on to Euro USD. Let's go to the 1 hour here when price was pretty much somewhere right there when I was looking at the markets, and this means where would have been. It was a bit bearish. Oops, sorry. Now a bit bullish. I mean, now the thing is, to be honest, at this point, I would actually be bearish because when I would look at the market and see it's like almost a doji, I mean, it's very close to the bottom wick of this previous candle, so I actually expect it to take it out. Also, when we zoom out, I mean, it's also kind of consolidating, like kind of having a little bit of a range, if you get me. Like you see distribution, but it's getting slower and slower, and if it makes sense to you, because overall, yeah, not very beautiful to look at, to be honest. But anyways, now regarding that, I would more be likely to tend to be bearish. For more confirmation, we have to look at the 1 hour. But anyways, now we see here, as I mentioned, when I would have looked up the price at this point, it would have been like barely bullish, like very bit bullish. Like a doji candle. So and it was up here at the opening, so it was like pretty much going down. Now we have to see if it's trying to do some kind of reversal or not. Now let's get to the 1 hour. We see on the 1 hour downtrend, and now it's responding with a reversal. But because it's like way too much to the upside, like way too straight, it's kind of hard to find the entry, if you ask me. You know, because you never know when it's going to stop or to retrace, and then you get stopped out. So I never really like to take like a trade when it's like in the middle of a distribution, slash expansion or whatever. Like I just say distribution. Fuck off. So if I really would have wanted to take a trade on Euro USD, I just would have kept watching price action. All right, now what do we see right here? We see it took out this high, right? So if it's not closing above it, this looks to me like like a liquidity sweep. Now, oh my days, I was looking at the wrong time. Oh, here, yeah. Holy shit. But it still counts though. Now where I see it, it still counts though. And okay, now, sorry, we see here, but here's also distribution, right? And actually, before London session, we had like a pretty big candle to the upside. And within the London session, like the first hour to 10 a.m., we had like a closure. But as I mentioned, I don't really like to take something in the middle of a distribution when the market is currently so consolidating and choppy, because there's like a lot of uncertainty going on. Now, what do we else see? Now, in the 1 hour, we see here from this movement to the downside, we actually have here a fair value gap. And as you can see, it got respected. Now, to be honest, when I would look at this, I would like to see a reversal at this point in time, because also what I told you before. Now, fair enough, fair enough. Where I was getting back here, in the middle of London session, it still could have been like some kind of probability that it will kind of take out this high. But again, we have here for value gap, so we are going to watch for price action. We are not going to decide if it's bearish or bullish, because at this point if you see point of interest on higher time frames, you need to watch price action, because if it's not clear, you need to watch price action. Otherwise, you get graped in the markets. All right, now we would price away. We would watch price action. We want the reversal, and what do we see? It gets rejected. Now, from that rejection, can we kind of see some kind point of interest? I mean, this Favela gap was already getting taken out by this one. Only that also swept this high. Like down, retracement. Actually, candle closure of this one, 50 minutes. So we see something numinous. Now, this would be the confirmation for the market structure shift. I know only 50 minutes, but we have to take what we get. Even here, I would count that as a little swing low. Anyways, now we know here market structure shifted on the 50 minutes, looking for point of interest right there. Dude, wow. Now look, that's the sad thing. When markets are so consolidating, I have to use the support and resistance right here on the lower time frames. I have never done this before in the past. But you know, if you have to face the odds, then you need to use the weapons you don't like the illegal weapons. And the thing is, obviously, because I kept practicing this on crypto, I got better, and I'm a fucking G. Because same thing worked on gold. And the thing is, we see here, yeah, it broke out of it, but was getting it back here. So the thing is, if I would enter off that, I was kind of putting, a risk because I have like a bit of uncertainty because I can't really tell if it's going higher. The market structure shift gives me the confidence, right? Gives me like a lot of confirmation because of that. But the thing is, I don't know if the retracement wants to go any higher. So if it's kind of consolidating, it's a bit hard. But at the same time, we see prices keeps getting rejected. So I would probably enter somewhere around here, and I have put in my stop loss of this very little swing high, and my TP would have been this low. And yeah, boom, would have played out. 6RR. But listen, this would have been in the New York session. So yeah, this would mean a whole day of monitoring price action. And to be honest, it's not that bad. Because when you are down to make something great, to make money, like yesterday was like almost the same. I was watching price consolidating like forever until it was hitting TP. And I was like focused, like concentrated, watching the chart. And I wasn't. Oh fuck! Here's like a little mosquito. I wasn't like kind of annoyed or something like that because again, I was focused. I am dedicated to make money. So for me, it is fine. I have literally zero problems of that to watch price action for that long. Now maybe with the futures it's a bit more comfortable maybe at some point because you wait for London session. Maybe go before London session and check on everything. But besides that, you can kind of chill, I guess. So yeah. Now, what do we know? Your USD had the setup, but a bit of a hot one. Gold had the setup, but the problem would be the TP because you had like to be super aware and clear headed for that. And the problem with the USD setup is, yeah, I think because it's just because I don't like this. Like this is like pretty much it. And also because you don't know how much further wants to retrace. But this market structure shift. Oh wait a second. This only would have occurred later. My bad. Yeah. So yeah, this would have been more of a gamble. Like kind of trying to trust intuition. So we had to go for the down. Oh, literally doing this what I mentioned before. Oh yeah, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Now, this is something I could actually imagine that I would have maybe done, but this is still ridiculous. Holy shit. Still 6RR. So here, support here becoming the resistance. TP above this swing high, like this accumulation. And TP the same place I was mentioning before. Yeah, it's still ridiculous. Don't get me wrong, it's still ridiculous. You have to be like super laser, like you have to be super clearly focused and clear minded. So that's the thing. If you're able to do this, because for me it's not a problem, but I just have like to be. That's the reason why I was yesterday watching price action so fucking carefully the whole time. Exactly because of this, because I want to make money every single day. Yeah, there might be days where you have like no setup, like on UCCHF. It's just fucking disgusting to trade this pair for this day. But when you're watching carefully and you're watching price action super close, like I was doing it yesterday, then you can actually find setups like here and also here on gold. Just saying. So yeah, this is how I look for setups. This is how I use my strategies. Maybe it helped you, maybe not. I don't know. Anyways, with that being said, cheers.